Welcome to History Channel. Be sure to subscribe and like so you don't miss out on more videos like this one. During Japan's turbulent 16th and 17th centuries, Christian missionaries faced rising hostility as their influence began to challenge traditional authority. In 1612, the Tokugawa shogunate formally banned Christianity, viewing it as a political threat. This act marked the beginning of centuries of suppression that isolated Japan from Western religion and culture. In 1979, comedian Robin Williams briefly joined the Denver Broncos for a charity event, blending humor with sportsmanship. His energetic appearance, filmed for a TV segment, showcased his trademark improvisation and charisma, turning a football practice into spontaneous comedy that reminded fans of his boundless creativity both on and off screen. In 1922, British archaeologist Howard Carter leaned into the dimly lit tomb of King Tutankhamun, brushing away centuries of dust. The moment marked one of archaeology's greatest discoveries, unveiling treasures untouched for millennia. The find redefined the world's understanding of ancient Egypt's opulence and fascination with the afterlife. Around 1900 in Western Australia, a young Aboriginal child stands captured in a haunting photograph, representing generations forced into servitude under colonial rule. This image echoes the deep scars of systemic exploitation, where indigenous children were stripped of identity and freedom under laws claiming to offer protection in civilization. During the Nigeria-Biafra War from 1967 to 1970, an Ilyushin Il-28 bomber of the Nigerian Air Force flew missions against the secessionist Republic of Biafra. The aircraft, a Soviet-built jet, symbolized Cold War influence in African conflicts, where imported machines of war devastated nations already fractured by colonial boundaries. On October 10, 1940, a German Messerschmitt Bf 110 crashed in London after being shot down during the Blitz. The wreckage lay among smoldering ruins, a grim reminder of the nightly air raids that tested British endurance. The failed mission mirrored the relentless but costly Luftwaffe campaign over England. Aboard the USS Yorktown in May 1943, a U.S. Navy F-6-3 Hellcat prepared for takeoff. The aircraft represented American naval power in the Pacific, replacing older fighters to challenge Japan's air superiority. Its pilots faced grueling battles, each launch symbolizing courage amid the uncertain tides of war at sea. In April 1865, the riverboat Sultana departed Helena, Arkansas, overloaded with Union soldiers finally heading home. At 2 a.m., its boilers exploded near Memphis, engulfing the vessel in flames. Over 1,800 lives were lost in what remains America's deadliest maritime disaster, overshadowed by the Civil War's end just days earlier. In 1889, the Eiffel Tower rose piece by piece above Paris, its iron lattice defying engineering conventions of the time. Critics called it monstrous, yet it soon became a marvel of human ambition. As the final rivets were set, the tower stood as a symbol of modern progress and ingenuity. In 1942, Penna Street in Warsaw bore the heavy silence of occupation. German forces patrolled the once vibrant area as residents lived under constant fear and scarcity. The distant sight of Castle Square reminded many of a past freedom now lost, as the city's spirit struggled to endure the oppression. In 1998, Carla Faye Tucker arrived at the Texas death house in Huntsville. Convicted for a brutal double murder, her case drew global attention for her transformation and pleas for mercy. As only the second woman executed in the U.S. since the 1970s, her story reignited debates about justice and redemption. On October 27, 1962, amid the Cuban Missile Crisis, Soviet officer Vasily Arkhipov refused to authorize a nuclear torpedo strike on a U.S. warship. His calm defiance prevented a global catastrophe. That moment of restraint, unknown for decades, became one of the closest brushes humanity ever had with nuclear annihilation. In 1900, Galveston, Texas faced a catastrophic hurricane that claimed thousands of lives. At St. Mary's Orphan Asylum, 10 Sisters of Charity and 90 children perished as storm surges engulfed the building. Only 3 boys survived, their rescue etched as a symbol of faith, loss, and the power of nature. In 1945, Oskar Dirlewanger, infamous commander of a brutal Nazi unit, was captured by French colonial troops. His arrest marked the downfall of one of World War II's most notorious figures. Feared even by his own men, Dirlewanger's crimes in occupied territories left a legacy of horror and human degradation. On June 7, 2005, young Iranians filled Tehran's streets campaigning for Akbar Hashemi Rafsanjani. Their chants reflected hope for reform in a nation divided by ideology and tradition. The image captured a generation, balancing between modern aspirations and the enduring weight of political conservatism in Iran's turbulent democratic landscape. In 1946, German dentist Martin Hellinger stood before a British tribunal, CONVICTED, for removing dental gold from concentration camp victims. Sentenced to 15 years, his later compensation from West Germany sparked outrage. His trial became a disturbing example of how post-war bureaucracy often clashed with moral responsibility and remembrance. In 1917, Vietnamese soldiers served on European battlefields during World War I, fighting under French command. Far from home, they endured harsh conditions and discrimination, yet their service contributed to later independence movements. Their presence in the war remains a little-known chapter of colonial sacrifice and resilience across distant continents. In 1856, the London Stereoscopic Company created The Ghost in the Stereoscope, demonstrating early spirit photography effects. Using double exposures, they mimicked apparitions that fascinated Victorians. These eerie images blurred science and superstition, capturing a society obsessed with death, the afterlife, and the mysteries hidden behind the camera lens. In 1979, Iranian students filled the streets celebrating the Islamic Revolution's triumph. Holding portraits of Ayatollah Khomeini, they declared the end of monarchy and the birth of a theocratic state. The moment, charged with unity and fervor, marked the dawn of a new political order that would reshape the Middle East. In 1978, actor Tom Baker appeared for Doctor Who promotional photos with a visible lip injury from a dog bite. Despite the pain, his humor shone through, embodying the eccentric resilience that defined his portrayal of the Doctor. The images became a beloved reminder of his charm and professionalism. In the 1920s, a rainy street in Munich reflected the gloom of post-war Germany. Citizens hurried under umbrellas as inflation and political unrest loomed. The wet cobblestones mirrored a nation's uncertain path, capturing an era poised between despair and the storm of change that would soon reshape Europe. In 1911, a group of village children in the Kiel region posed for a photographer, their worn clothes and shy smiles revealing rural hardship. The moment froze a glimpse of pre-revolutionary Ukraine, where innocence met poverty, and the rhythms of peasant life continued untouched by the coming tides of history. Around 1863, Two Union soldiers posed playfully before the camera, their light-hearted expressions contrasting the grim reality of war. Amid bloodshed and uncertainty, the photograph captured a fleeting moment of humanity, reminding viewers that even in conflict, soldiers sought fragments of normalcy and laughter to endure the unbearable weight of battle. In occupied China during the late 1930s, Japanese soldiers stood in line outside a comfort station. These facilities, run by the military, exploited countless women through systematic sexual slavery. The photograph reflects a grim chapter of war, where human suffering was institutionalized under the guise of maintaining military discipline. On October 12, 1984, the Grand Hotel in Brighton lay shattered after an IRA bomb exploded. The attack targeted Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher and her cabinet during the Conservative Party conference. Though she survived, the blast killed 5 and wounded dozens, leaving Britain shaken by one of its most audacious terrorist acts. In 1960, U.S. President Dwight D. Eisenhower visited Taiwan amid rising Cold War tensions in Asia. His arrival symbolized America's continued support for Chiang Kai-shek's nationalist government and opposition to Communist China. The visit strengthened U.S.-Taiwan ties, serving as both a diplomatic reassurance and a message of deterrence to Beijing. At the 1900 Paris Exposition, the Turkish and American pavilions stood as reflections of cultural pride and industrial progress. The event drew millions eager to witness the achievements of the modern age. These pavilions showcased contrasting world's Ottoman tradition beside American innovation, each vying to define its place in a changing century. In May 1943, German troops forced captured Allied soldiers to view mass graves of Polish officers murdered by the Soviets in 1940 near Katyn Forest. The scene was part of Nazi propaganda, yet it exposed a real atrocity. The massacre remained one of World War II's most politically charged crimes. On June 17, 1969, NASA astronaut Michael Collins landed at Patrick Air Force Base in Florida, piloting a T-38 jet. Calm and focused, he prepared for the Apollo 11 mission that would soon make history. Though he remained in orbit, Collins' role was essential to humankind's first steps on the moon. In November 1944, women Air Force service pilots posed proudly beside a North American, a T-6 Texan in Waco, Texas. These pioneering women ferried aircraft, towed targets, and tested planes, breaking barriers in military aviation. Their courage and skill freed men for combat and paved the way for future generations of female pilots. At the 1908 London Olympics, a bicycle polo match drew curious spectators as Ireland and Germany faced off in an unusual contest. Played on grass with mallets and bicycles, the sport mixed balance and precision. Though short-lived as an Olympic event, it remains a quirky symbol of early athletic experimentation. In July 1936, a dog trotted through a Galician street carrying a poster supporting regional autonomy. Captured by Ahora magazine, the image reflected Spain's charged political atmosphere on the eve of civil war. It was a moment of unintended symbolism, loyalty, and protest merging in a country soon torn apart. Around 1987, a Seepcat Jaguar from Oman's Air Force flew close to a Soviet Ilyushin Il-38 patrol plane. The tense encounter occurred during the late Cold War, when even neutral nations watched each other warily. The armed Jaguar, carrying Sidewinder missiles, symbolized small powers asserting control in contested skies. In 1993, Michael Jackson was photographed shopping at Toys R Us in Taipei, surrounded by cheering fans. The moment showed a rare glimpse of the global superstar in a relaxed, joyful mood. His visit reflected Taiwan's growing international pop culture connection during the height of Jackson's worldwide fame and influence. In 1987, Zhongshan East Road in Taipei bustled with energy as neon signs lit the skyline. The city was in transition, balancing modernization with tradition. Streets once lined with small shops now filled with cars and billboards, marking Taiwan's rapid transformation into one of Asia's most vibrant urban landscapes. In the 1920s, a girl dressed as Night for Halloween posed in an elaborate costume of stars and dark fabric. Her expression mixed innocence and mystery, reflecting early 20th century fascination with celestial themes. The photo captures a time when imagination and handcrafted charm defined the spirit of childhood celebrations. In 1945 China, pilot Colonel David Tex Hill stood beside his P-51 Mustang, proud symbol of American air power. A leading ace of the 51st Fighter Group, Hill had fought with skill and courage. His aircraft gleamed against the backdrop of war, embodying the resolve that helped secure Allied victory. Around 1905, Buddy Bolden posed with his band in the only known photo of the jazz pioneer. Bolden's powerful cornet playing helped shape early New Orleans music, yet no recordings of him survive. His brilliance and tragic mental decline left a mythic legacy that still echoes through jazz history. In December 1950, the wreck of the launch Ranui lay broken on the rocks at Mount Maunganui, New Zealand. The vessel had been destroyed in a storm, claiming multiple lives. The haunting remains stood for years as a warning of the sea's unpredictability and the fragility of human endeavor. In 1945, Winston Churchill perched playfully on the remnants of Adolf Hitler's chair in a captured bunker. The image carried deep symbolism, the victorious leader seated upon the ruins of tyranny. It was both a moment of defiance and quiet reflection after years of unimaginable destruction and perseverance across Europe. In 1995, President Bill Clinton received the devastating news of Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin's assassination. His reaction, captured in a single photo, revealed shock and grief. Clinton had considered Rabin a close ally and friend, and the loss marked a turning point in the fragile Middle Eastern peace process. In October 1944, U.S. Navy ace David McCampbell posed proudly in his F-6F Hellcat aboard the USS Essex, a Medal of Honor recipient. He shot down 9 enemy planes in one day and totaled 34 victories. His calm confidence symbolized the daring spirit that defined America's wartime naval aviators. On December 9, 1944, the front half of B-17, Julie May, plummeted toward Earth after colliding mid-air with Silver Dollar over France. The tragedy killed nearly all aboard. The image of the falling bomber remains a stark reminder of the dangers faced by Allied airmen, even far from enemy fire. In 1967, female factory workers in Kaohsiung, Taiwan, were photographed amid humming machines and long hours. Their determination reflected the rapid industrial growth that transformed Taiwan's economy. These women, often underpaid and overlooked, played a crucial role in the island's rise as a manufacturing powerhouse during the post-war decades. In 1878, a Russian soldier stood overlooking Constantinople after the Russo-Turkish War. The view symbolized victory and shifting power in the Balkans. The photograph captured both triumph and uncertainty, as Europe braced for new political tensions that would reshape empires and redraw borders in the years to come. In April 1979, President Jimmy Carter toured the control room of 3 Mile Island just days after the nuclear accident. Surrounded by engineers and flashing monitors, his visit aimed to reassure the public. The moment highlighted the growing anxiety over nuclear safety and America's struggle with the promise and peril of atomic energy. In 1921, Irish volunteers May Burke, Eithne Coyle, and Linda Kern stood defiantly atop a Union Jack after escaping Mountjoy prison. Their act of rebellion became headline news worldwide. These women embodied courage and defiance, their escape symbolizing Ireland's fight for independence and the unyielding spirit of its revolutionaries. On July 29, 1981, Princess Diana stepped from her carriage in a gown of silk and pearls, her wedding watched by millions worldwide. The event marked the dawn of a new royal era, filled with hope and fascination. Her shy smile captured hearts and became a lasting symbol of grace. On February 14, 1950, Mao Zedong and Joseph Stalin signed the Sino-Soviet Treaty in Moscow. The agreement cemented a powerful alliance between Communist China and the Soviet Union. Behind the formal smiles lay an uneasy partnership, driven by shared ideology but destined to fracture under ambition and mutual distrust.